Hello everyone. Today we are going to dive into the history of the world's favorite sport, soccer to be exact. Soccer is a sport played around the world and in all types of ways. This information I will be sharing with you is about the history of soccer. My information is coming from many articles and books about the sport. According to the Federation Internationale de Football Association, also known as FIFA, 265 million people participate in the sport today. Today I will be discussing the history of soccer. First, I will be discussing how soccer originated. Then, I will discuss how it has evolved. And lastly, I will discuss the rules and regulations that have been implemented over the years. Let's start off with where soccer originated. Soccer is believed to have been originated in China more than 2,000 years ago, during the Han Dynasty to be exact. They kicked and dribbled leather balls into small nets. There is also evidence that the Romans and Greeks played a game with the ball, too. When the sport made it to England, it is said that the ball was the head of a Danish brigand. Many players in the earlier times would kick, punch, and do harsh things to each other. The players had one goal: get the ball into the net. Eventually, soccer made it to England and started evolving. Next, we are going to talk about the evolution of soccer. England is said to have been the country that made soccer into what it is today. They initially called the game football, which later variations made it into what we call soccer today. Its first variation was called mob football. This is a violent game like soccer, but with no rules mostly. There were in fact two rules: no murder or manslaughter. It was so dangerous, kings tried to ban the game during the mid-14th century. Diverging into later years to different games, one of the games was in fact soccer, as we know today. When public schools in England wanted to play this sport, they created a more standardized ranking system and created the Football Association. This leads us into our final topic, which is rules and regulations of the sport. Rules in the sport are very important for the safety of players. The IFAB, or International Football Association Board, was founded in 1886. This association founded the rules of soccer. Some rules were penalty kicks, free kicks, and corner kicks. They implemented some of these rules so men would not intentionally foul each other. Rules, in fact, are what kept this sport alive. Lastly, we will sum things up with a conclusion. To conclude, I have discussed the history of soccer, or football. We talked about the origins, the evolvement, and the rules of the sport. Did you know that soccer wasn't a sport in the Olympics until 1908? Or that the first World Cup did not happen until 1930 in Uruguay? I hope that you learned more than you did before about soccer and its history.